skills, abilities that let you soar through the skies like a literal god. Abilities such as Meteor Flight and Fan Glider, some of which you get to unlock quite early on, let you roam through the skies and over the mountains once you meet the proper requirements. And they're so fun and interactive to play with that you're likely going to use them on every occasion, especially since the map is actually pretty big. There's also a water running skill that kind of doubles as a super sprint. I also love this, and it just makes traversal a lot easier, especially over the game's many lakes and rivers. Speaking of which, Where Winds Meet is an action RPG, and it puts a huge emphasis on action combat. Full disclaimer here, it is going to take some time to get used to it, especially as a newcomer. While it's easy to pick up, the ceiling to master it is actually quite high. Plus, there are multiple difficulty settings, including a hardcore one, that will really put your abilities to the test. But combat puts a big emphasis on perfect dodging, blocking, and perfect parries, all three of which are on their own separate buttons. So while blocking is good at generally mitigating some of the incoming damage, perfect parries completely remove all of that incoming damage for that attack and even deal massive posture damage back at the enemy. This requires almost perfect timing and learning the enemy's moveset, but the payoffs can be huge. Once the target's entire posture bar has been completely broken, this leaves them completely stunned for a relatively long time and even lets you follow up with a devastating finisher that rips off massive amounts of HP. Meanwhile, perfect dodges provide a massive slow time that lasts for a rather long time, which makes it very good against large groups of enemies or when you need to set up a longer combo. All in all, this is something you're going to have to get used to, learn enemies' movesets, and eventually get better at it from the Chinese version in the future. So the ones I've noticed include swords, twin blades, spears, fans, umbrellas, rope darts, snow blades, and finally bows, but only two can be equipped at any given moment. Most of these are unlocked via side content, including activities where you literally have to actively learn their moveset by spying on the very masters that practice them. Don't be fooled by the number of weapon categories though. There are multiple choices even within each one of them that fit distinctive roles. Some may be aimed towards DPS, other tanking, other relief damage, and
You
others
can
may
go lay
even be
down in the
suited for
bed.
healing.
You can take
For
a leader.
example, the Stormbreaker Spear is more aimed towards a tanky playstyle, meanwhile the Nameless Spear is more suited for DPS, despite both belonging to the same spear category. But other types have this too, such as fans and umbrellas having options both for ranged DPS and healing or buffing. And it's very important to maximize your potential is how you use weapons synergize with one another. Many of the skills from specific weapons may provide useful buffs or other benefits that empower the skills of other weapons. Just to give you a couple of examples, the Stormbreaker Spear empowers one of the other twice great skills via the drum beast buff, making it a lot stronger. Or the Healing Fan and Umbrella having their martial arts synergize, providing more damage towards that, plus better healing effects when you have both of them equipped on your build. There are many more such synergies in the game, so if you want to see a bigger breakdown coming out on the channel, make sure to subscribe if you want to find out more. But moving on to number 7, we have character progression. And while there isn't a class system per se here, there is a deep progression system at play here around multiple different types of abilities, skill trees, and many more upgrades on top that you can unlock. So we're going to cover some of the more important ones, starting with the martial arts. This is the first and most important of the categories, and these are combat skills directly tied to your equipped weapons. So once you study them, you also get access to the weapon category that you belong to. Not only do you get to level martial arts here, but they even feature their own skill trees with even more bonuses and effects become much stronger. This means it's possible to eventually master all weapons, albeit it will take quite a bit of time and resource investment. Be part of something bigger. The following Virginia Department of Corrections state prisons are now hiring correctional officers. You'll enjoy competitive state benefits, paid training on day one, provided uniforms, challenging and rewarding daily work, and more. Opportunities to advance both within your field or across various departments. We're an equal opportunity employer and look forward to working with you. Scan the code to learn more.
Okay, gun to your head. What would you even do with $1 billion?
on my head? Since the day I was born, my mother told me we were different. Yes, she had been disowned by her family. Someday I would become sole heir to real estate, planes, an island or two.
Second. No way. So are you living in the city now?
Yeah, I do. Still outside of it.
Whatever happened to the Redfellow family fortune?
All inherited. Someday.
Well, call me when you've killed them all.
There were 7 of them. 7 rich pricks. Between myself and $28 billion. If I were to prune a few branches of the family tree. Wait. Who are you? I'm back in.
2 calls, 2 emails.
Been occupied.
With what?
Occupations.
Working your way up the financial ladder. Filthy business.
Hope this isn't a bad time. We had an agreement.
We'll get out of here until you come clean.
Have you heard about the Redfellows?
What about him?
What age next? If I were you, I might be nervous. Until then, I'm sure you'll make a killing.
Next, we have internal arts, which are more or less passives that provide extra benefits in combat, such as damage buffs, healing, resource generation, and other useful combat effects. They generally tend to interact with martial arts, but aren't limited just to that. Oftentimes, there are other actions that will trigger their special effects. So you will oftentimes want to actually mix and match these perfectly to the type of weapons and actions you perform the most. As a result, they are also critical to your build synergy. Besides this, we also have mystic arts, and you can think of them as special active abilities separate from those belonging to your weapons. So these are skills that can use stuff like fire breathing, drunken fist, special AoE debuffs, and so on that you can unlock via side quests and other secret interactions. Some excel in single target DPS, others at AoE, others at debuffing targets or providing buffs to your own character in combat. Not all of them are combat related though, so a lot of them can be used at solving open world puzzles, for example, such as freezing somebody in a specific pose to help you unlock locked mechanisms and such. They cost spirit though, which you can generate in combat or replenish at hero stones all across the map. All of these you're free to slot in and out, further deepening your build diversity. And finally, we've got talents. As your character levels up, it's going to gain skill points, which you can then invest into your own dedicated talent tree. And while mostly it's comprised out of passive benefits, a lot of these benefits are actually, in fact, very strong, such as unlocking more slots for more mystic art for you to use in combat. But there are many more on top, including extra passive skills to your damage, HP, critical chance, and so on, all of which will eventually be useful. But jumping up to number 8, we've got to talk about immersion. My first time playing this game, I was surprised how many side activities relate just to immersion. One of which is internal healing. As you get involved into fights, your character can genuinely suffer long-term damage, including sprains, body injuries, even curses, and other debilitating effects. The other day, for example, my character had a broken leg that I had forgotten to heal for a few in-game weeks, which eventually ended up in making me permanently crippled until another player healed me. So there's a whole game section dedicated to joining jobs like becoming a healer or a scholar, in which you can also help out NPCs as well as other players. The minigame involved here is also quite thoughtful. It's almost like a card minigame during which you quite literally have to battle the illness with different effects perks that either damage it or protect your character for some hefty rewards to be won as you pursue this playstyle. In fact, jobs like these have very deep progression systems that you can level up through for more powerful effects later on. And while we're on the subject of immersion, another aspect I've appreciated is that you can literally befriend NPCs in the game. And there are a couple of ways in which you can do that. There is a dialogue minigame that also works this way. But in one of the early betas I played, also AI was at play, and it actually functioned really well. So in this, you could have legit conversations with some of the NPCs in the game, like merchants and other important characters, and depending what you converse with them, they would actually give a response depending on the type of NPC it was and the type of lifestyle they led. So for example, you would have a completely different conversation and types of answers from somebody who was a merchant compared to somebody who was a fisherman or even a warrior. The AI also did a good job at following those specific parameters, never to break character. Plus, you can interact with this in such a way that it actually leads to side objectives. Like, for example, a character requesting to, for example, buy them some kind of meal, and depending how you converse with them, you can inquire more about how you can find that meal, and they will even tell you why they actually enjoy it that much. And this is just one of the examples I've noticed. But let's also jump to number 9, and that's going to be character creation. I know I should have probably covered this a little bit sooner, but it goes without saying that where Winsme lets you create some very good looking characters with a very deep set of settings for pretty much every feature you can think of. But for somebody like me who has a long way to go in terms of really making characters that stand out, I was also happy to notice a character import tool as well being present here, with a lot of presets that other players have created and shared. So if you're out of inspiration, you can just check some of these really cool designs others have made and then further customize them to your own liking. Photo mode also further takes advantage of this with a high degree of customization here as well, especially if you're somebody who enjoys screen archery. Even if this mode has scene presets that others have made and shared, which includes things like character pose, camera angles, and scene composition to perfectly mimic that of professional screenshots that somebody else have made. And finally, to number 10, this brings us to the end game, where Winsmeet has something for everybody, from PvE to PvP, from solo to social gathering style content. There are many ways in which you can play this game in. PvE endgame mostly revolves around dungeons, raids, and open world bosses. Dungeons are typically instance group activities for either 4 or up to 10 players, and are the primary source for high-end loot, especially later on. World bosses, on the other hand, as the name implies, will spawn in the open world hubs. These typically don't have a restriction when it comes to forming up parties or not, but they can definitely be a lot more dangerous. PvP, on the other hand, involves both 1v1 duels, ranked arenas, battle royales, guild wars, and bounties. Some of these are more reliant on skill, while in others, gear plays a much bigger role. So balance modes like 1v1 and 3v3 arenas, where stats are minimized, means personal skill competence is a much bigger factor at winning. Whereas in other modes, the better your gear is compared to that of your foes, the higher your chances of success are. The first are quite self-explanatory too, however bounties can also be bullets on players' heads. Should you commit enough crimes in single player, such as taking down innocent NPCs, can result in others invading your single player world to collect the rewards on your head. On top of this, players can also join guilds, especially if you want to work towards a collective goal, share resources, and take part in larger scale exclusive activities. And yes, if you were wondering, a lot of these, both PvE and PvP activities, do feature matchmaking as well. Overall, it's easy to sink hundreds of hours into a game like this, given the sheer number of ways you can enjoy it in. For now though, that about covers the majority of the most important things you should know before coming out and playing in a few more days. As always, if you enjoyed this video at any point, a thumbs up will definitely help a ton. Also don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
With Dupixent, stay ahead of moderate to severe eczema with clear skin and less itch.
The #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists, helps heal your skin from within. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
When's Lisa Baker's next vacation?
Big vacation next week, Lisa. 5 days. Nice.
How do you know everything? I'm on Paycom's command-driven AI.
Alright, let's dive into some rapid-fire tips for the things I wish I knew sooner and where winds meet. This is a massive, seamless, open-world game that rewards exploring. But with so many options and so many directions that you can go, it can lead you to feel like you're not sure what to focus on first. So let's start with some tips that are going to make exploring a lot more efficient for you. And of course, these are going to make sure you're not missing any massive power spikes, because this game definitely has loads of ways to upgrade. And a massive shout out to Everstone Studios for sponsoring this video. If for some reason you aren't playing this game yet, you can click the link in the description to play it right now for free. Now, Where Winds Meet does have dungeons, so we open up the map here and you see, for instance, Gleaming Abyss. This is a dungeon that you'll have to do as part of the campaign, and you can do these with other people, but you can also very easily solo them if you'd rather. Just be aware of the fact that if you're not the leader of your party, you will not get credit for completing this quest for your campaign, and you'll have to do it all over again. You can also run it again after that to get extra rewards and extra materials, which you will need for upgrading your items. So it's not the worst thing in the world if you have to run it more than once, because you do get double the rewards that way. And be on the lookout for injuries. You'll see them up here at the top with this red icon, and then if you click on them and go down into the menu, you see it says self-heal possible. That means it's possible that if you just leave it alone, it'll heal itself. You'll get this for sprains, mild poison afflictions, but it's also possible it fails and goes down to the next level, which is also possible to self-heal. But if it fails there, then you're going to have to either go see a doctor or hire another player to come and remove that illness from you. If you keep the illness, you can see the debuff that it's putting on you right here. Now, while you're playing this game, one of the first things that you're going to have to conquer is the menu system. And one of the most important areas in the menu system is going to be the Develop tab, right here. Whenever you see a green up arrow like this, that means there's something in here that can be upgraded. The first one here is the martial arts section. So you can equip 2 martial arts at a time. Right now I've got the sword and the fan. I love the fan, I highly recommend it if you're not sure what to do. You can use this to heal yourself anytime you're in battle, and it's incredibly powerful. But the most important thing to know here is that these can be leveled up, and they can go as high as your level. So right now I'm level 40, so I can level these up to level 40. When I get to level 41, I'll be able to bump them both up to level 41. And if you come in here, you'll notice you have the option to upgrade, or you have the option to break through. Right now I only have the option to break through, and right here it'll tell you what you need to do to break through. Right now I'm time gated. It says I'm not going to be able to unlock tier 5 for 2 days, which means I have plenty of time to head back and explore the massive world that I definitely have a lot to find in still. And I'll touch on how important it is to be thorough with your exploration in this world and why. So that covers your martial arts. What about your gear? When it comes to your gear, you can click down here on Enhance, and there's something really useful in here. So you'll notice, again, green arrows means we can enhance. And then over here on the right, it tells us what materials are needed to enhance. But let's say we come over here to this helmet, and it's not giving me the option to upgrade it. Well, why not? It says that I only have 3 of these, but I need 5 horse fur. And then this menu system is absolutely fantastic. So what you can do here is click on it, and it tells you how to obtain. And you can either buy them at vendors, and if you click on that, it tells you where that vendor is that you can buy it, but you don't need to do that. Instead, what you can do is click on it and click on Hunt Giant Elk. And you just come to this area, and you kill some elk. When you kill them, they're going to drop that item for you. So if you ever see that you're short on materials to upgrade your armor or your weapons or any of your items, then just click on them, and it tells you exactly where to go, and you can run, knock that out real quick so that none of your gear is falling way behind in enhancement levels. The next section we have here is talents. As you're playing the game and going through the story, you're going to be getting a lot of talent points, which are going to allow you to work your way through this system. As you can see here, I've got 8 talent points to spend, so I can come back here and drop them into different things. It says I can't keep going to the right yet because my solo mode needs to reach level 5. Right now that's time gated for me. It's not letting me reach level 5 yet. So that means if I want to, I can come back here and pick up some of these ones. Some of the most useful ones in here are going to be your mystic skill slots. This is where you'll be able to unlock those. So right now you can see my character has in the bottom right 4 mystic slots equipped. And if we hold down Alt, we can see 2 more abilities with the other slots remaining to be unlocked. Now, you may notice that my map is just about fully explored, right? We can see just about every region, but we can't see this region over here. Now, the reason we can't see this is because we haven't gone and touched this Wayfarer landmark yet. So if you see an area of the map that you haven't revealed yet, you can run straight to that Wayfarer mark, and it will reveal you. Now, some of these areas are going to be level locked, so if you're not high enough level, it's not going to let you go in there yet. But once you're able to go touch the Wayfarer landmark, and it's going to reveal all of the teleport locations to you, as well as a bunch of other locations when you zoom in on the map, so that you can knock those things out. Now, the map does show you a lot of the various different activities that you can do in this game, and there's a reason for every single one of these. Every one of them is giving you an item, a material, something that you're going to be able to use to either progress your progress in this zone, which is going to unlock mobility abilities. If I hold down the space button, we can launch into the sky, and if I continue with that, I'll be able to fly around this zone, literally fly around this zone. The way you unlock that is by progressing your completion in this zone. So as you're completing all of these optional activities, grabbing teleport pose, grabbing all of these items in the zone, opening chests, every one of those is progressing you in your journal here. So if you click on your journal and you've got this zone right here, right, the one that we're in, and if we click this, it tells us our progress in this zone and what we're unlocking along the way. So to tie that back into the mobility ability and the ability to walk on walls and to fly through the zone, you have to get to a certain level. So at level 4 here, you can see we get this item, the Afterglow Pendant. Equipping it allows free use of the Grand Lightness skill and Wall Stride in this zone. So this is something you have to unlock in each zone. And so in that way, your progress in each zone matters a lot. So that's one way that you get around in this game. Another way that you get around in this game is mounts. So in order to get a mount, you can literally just walk up to someone riding a mount, press F, throw them off their mount, then get on their mount by pressing F. There, boom, you now own that mount. It's going to show up here. So you go to your appearance menu, and you go to mounts, and the name is a little bit deceiving because these are not just cosmetic. These mounts actually have stats, so it's more than just appearance. As you can see here, I have 4 different mounts so that we can see the different stats that they have. This one has high speed and surging vitality. This one has lightness, water affinity, and energy. This one right here has lightness, vitality, surging vitality, high speed, and water affinity, right? So each one that I found and unlocked has different stats. And over here it gives you a rating, so this one's rated 54, this one's rated 32, and this one's rated 18. So what you can do with these is if you decide, hey, this mount is only rated 18, it's taking up one of my mount slots, you can come in here to mount management, and you can sell it. So you click sell, and it tells you where you can go, and you can sell that mount. It's just one more way to make money, and it's one way to get rid of those extra mounts that you don't need anymore. Now, as I mentioned, the map tells you where the major events are and the major points of interest are, but there's a ton of minor points of interest in this game that you're only going to see by looking at your mini-map. So right here, you can see there's a butterfly over there, and if you run over to this, they're usually a very, very quick puzzle for you to solve. So we walked right up to that. So if you see a stack of objects, a stack of stones, or something like that, there's something in there, right? It's going to be one of these guys. It's a little cricket. You grab that. That is called an oddity. Now, there's a variety of different mini puzzles at each of these butterflies, but they're all going to give you oddities, and you're going to want loads of these. So make sure you are always doing those when you're walking by them, so you don't have to backtrack. And the reason that that's important is because this guy right here on the map, in the first zone, if you've been playing, you've already ran into him, but you may have overlooked how important he is because he's going to give you loads of passive stats using your oddities. Alright, so we go to submit oddities, and right here you can see all the different passives. These passives are permanently unlocked once you grab them. So if we click on this one right here, it says I'll get physical defense +2 for that one oddity that I just picked up, that one cricket. So I could press activate, and it would give me that passive permanently while playing this game. Now, there's some really critical passives in here that are worth noting, because some of your abilities and some of the things you're going to get are going to require stats that you don't have until, for instance, you get extra vitality in here. So there's vitality here, and then there's another vitality node here, and then finally another one over here. That's going to give you an extra 30 vitality, and that's going to allow you to use this ability right here. You'll notice the honking havoc. It does massive damage, but it requires 70 vitality, so getting all 3 of those notes will get you to 70 vitality. Aside from that, there's attack damage stats that he has, there's defensive stats that he has, there's endurance stats that he has that gives you more stamina, loads of great little passives there, and it's one of the primary reasons you're going to want to do all of those little mini butterfly puzzles as you're running into them. Another thing you're not going to want to run by, for the reason that we touched on earlier, is animals. So when you see animals, feel free to go ahead, kill them, and loot them, right? And that's going to give you that core spur or whatever that material is that you're going to need to upgrade your gear later. So if you haven't killed that animal a few times yet, it's never a bad idea to do so to make sure you have those materials when it comes time to go to your gear section and upgrade it. Look, now, because we killed a couple of those, we've got the fur that we need, and we can enhance the helmet, right? So we rinse and repeat. We've got the bear pelt. We click on that and we say, hey, where is that at? Over here. We can buy this guy, or we can hunt the giant bear. There, easy. And one of the things to know about the bears is anytime you're fighting one of the bears in this game, there's likely a large pile of rocks for you to throw them into. We throw them into the pile of rocks. There's going to be a chest behind it that you can open. I can think of probably half a dozen different fights I've done already in the game where I was throwing bears into rocks. And even if the rocks don't explode and reveal a chest, the rocks are throwing them into a rock wall or something like that. It's going to do a ton of damage for it. Now, at some point, you're going to see one of these books on the map, like this one right here, and sometimes that's going to ask you to heal the person, and you might be wondering how exactly you heal someone. So what you're going to do is you're going to come here to this menu, you're going to click on Profession, then you're going to click on Healer, and it's going to tell you where to go to unlock the healing. Now, another thing to be aware of is while you're playing this game, so let's say, for example, our inner ways. These can be upgraded just like everything in this game, and you'll click on it, and not only can you unlock them, by finding the item you need to comprehend it, right, we can now, boom, we've unlocked this, we can now equip it, but you can then upgrade them, you can break through. So if I wanted to break through this one, we'd come here to the breakthrough after clicking on it, and it says we need 10 of these materials. Now, if you've been playing this game for a while, it's going to say you have 0, however, you don't actually have 0. It says in your inventory, inner way, no chests. I have 12 of these. So if you click on that, it takes you to your inventory where you have 12 of those chests, which you can then open. Going to give you a bunch of these notes that you can learn. And if you want to save yourself some time from this screen right here, you'll notice down here it says Quick Enhance. You can just hit space and you can confirm enhancement from here if you'd like to. And it's going to just automatically upgrade the things that it can. However, you know, the downside of that is you don't have as much control over what order you're upgrading things in. So just be aware of that. Another really quick tip that I feel like I didn't realize for way too long is when you're in combat using your abilities, right, you can also hit tab, and that's automatically going to switch weapons and attack for you. So you don't actually have to fumble around trying to manually scroll that mouse wheel up or down to switch your weapon to the right weapon. Instead, you just hit tab when you're ready to switch weapons, and it's automatically going to switch to that new weapon for you. And in the case of the fan, it pulls out the fan and uses it as an attack that automatically heals you right away. It's just a really efficient way of switching back and forth between the weapons. Now, a lot of times you're going to be trying to solve a puzzle, or there's going to be a butterfly puzzle, or something like that, or you're just looking for an item and you know it's somewhere in the vicinity. Pressing V on your keyboard is basically this game's version of pointing out all of the interactable objects or hidden objects. So if we press V, it's going to reveal hidden objects nearby. It's going to show you enemies nearby. If you're completing a puzzle, it'll show you where that item is, and you can run over to the object and you can pick it up. Another quick tip is that there's a lot of things in this game that you can use your ground slam for. To ground slam, you just jump or fall and then hit Q and you slam to the ground. Now, one thing this can be used for is breaking through things. So right here, that exposed that cricket in there. Also, you could just slap that one, so it's not necessarily necessary for that particular puzzle. But then there's the ones where you'll see some cracked bricks on the ground. You jump, slam through them, and that's going to drop you through those bricks and into the hidden chamber below. Also, if you jump off of a really, really high structure or really high cliff, this game does have fall damage that will kill you. So what you want to do is hit Q as you're falling, and that's going to negate any fall damage no matter how high you're jumping from. Now, the next tip is when you are fighting enemies, you'll see this pop up. What you want to do as much damage as possible to them before you use F, right? And that's, you actually have quite a bit of time. So let's see if we can get this guy low without his poison jump. There we go. Okay, so look at that counting down right there. You have lots of time. You can do more combos. You can do all this kind of stuff, and you can hit him. So now this next one is a really useful little tip that you can use on the map. So if you open up your map and you come over here, you can click on these, and then you can filter out things that you're looking for. If you find out that you need a certain object in this game or a certain item, you can almost certainly find it in here, and boom, there you go. So if you're looking for crickets, you can highlight them on the map, and then you can run to the various cricket locations in the game and grab that gatherable. So let's go ahead and set this as our waypoint. Run over here now. And right here. There it is. So whatever it is that you're looking for, you can find it in here. You can set it on the map, and the game will take you right to that thing. And when it comes to swimming, just be aware of the fact that when you run out of stamina, you will drown. But while you're swimming, you can recover your stamina by stopping swimming, let it come on back up, and then start swimming again. And it's not going to take your health away. Eventually, you won't need to swim, because you'll be able to jump on water once you get your mobility skills unlocked by getting zone completion. One more reason to be a completionist in this game. What's the best thing you figured out so far in this game? Be sure to share your favorite tips down in the comments below. Sometimes the best tips are in the comment section thanks to you guys, so be sure to check those out down there. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more Where Winds Meet content. And another massive shout out to Emerson Studio, the developers of this game. And if you're not playing this game yet, be sure to click the link down in the description to check it out. This TikToker just went viral for telling her female viewers
Our cause is the cause of all mankind.
Hold the phone! Did you hear the blazing hot news from your friends at Verizon? Verizon will take your current AT&T or T-Mobile bill and give you an even better deal. Are you tired of phone plan gimmicks with too many limits? Are you stuck with premium prices but none of the spices? You want a plan full of perks, not a handful of corn? Well, do we have a deal for you? If you thought Verizon was expensive, why, think again. With Verizon's best value guarantee, a better value is as easy as 1, 2, 3. And we're so confident we want you to let us prove it. Verizon will take your plan. That's right. That's right. Just bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill into one of Verizon stores today. Sit down with our teams today, and in no time at all. Today, you'll walk out with something fresh, shiny, and delicious. Today. What if you're already a Verizon customer? We'll measure up against ourselves and make sure you're getting our very best deal. So don't be nervous. We've got spectacular service when it comes to speed, reliability, and quality. You better believe you can count on the fastest, the most reliable, and the best 5G network, Verizon. Verizon. Stop paying for features you don't need. Stop making zero streams on and Nancy never text. Use the same tier plan. Don't compromise. Customize. Mix and match to get exact. Give every family member the plans they need to succeed. And like a little check stability with your flexibility, with our 3-year price hike, you can count on it. If a new phone you're missing, you can trade in your mission. Just like magic, you'll get all of the latest get. New and existing customers get all the same great phone deals today. And that's not all. We'll make it work with discount perks. Get 40% off of your favorite streaming services. So grab your current bills, hurry on down to your local Verizon store, and head home with a steal of a deal and some extra pep in your step. You get it all. America's best 5G network, ultimate flexibility, the latest devices, and exclusive perks. All at a value that will blow your current plan out of the water. Have your T-Mobile for AT&T Go ready and come into your local Verizon stores to get Verizon's best value guarantee. Call 1-800-366-0227 to find the store nearest you. That's 1-800-366-0227. 1-800-366-0227 today. Terms and apply. Pricing do not include taxes and fees. Offer valid at any store. Plan will not regrow your hair, fix your bill and marriage, or make your kids look.
buffs and upgrade systems in Where Winds Meet, but I want to focus this video on the most important things you want to unlock to become super overpowered during almost any activity in the game. Thanks to Everstone Studio for sponsoring this video. Totally check out Where Winds Meet by the link in the video description. Let's start with one of the best attacks in the game that you actually unlock super early, but I now found many ways to make it even stronger. The Charged Heavy Attack for the Nameless Spear. This locks enemies in place and deals an insane amount of damage in rapid succession, amazing to clear out multiple smaller enemies or to use it against a boss when you have a clear window. One perfect moment is when their defense is broken, a spin, and then do the finisher at the very last moment, but you can also create the window with the Honking Havoc Mystic Art. With this, time will slow down, and this creates an amazing opportunity to deal a ton of damage with the spinning attack. Make sure the boss is not in an attacking animation, because that will still hit, so it's best to use it when they are recovering and when your endurance is full, so then you can repeat the full spin attack. You get the Honking Havoc by going over here on the map and checking the Who's Boss encounter. Simply steal the skill from the goose to learn it, but you will need 70 vitality in order to actually use it, and you earn vitality from the two oddity NPCs. The first one is of course where you start the game, and in Kai Feng you simply click on the Melodies of Peace mention and it will take you to the quest. If you finish that, you can also deliver oddities you find in Kai Feng. So if you then just focus on the line that lets you reach the bonus vitality the quickest, you will have the 70 vitality before you know it, and by doing this you also increase your endurance, which will increase the duration of this Charged Heavy Attack. So always do these insect icons while exploring the map, as it actually makes you way stronger in combat as well. Also for the Infernal Umbrella, being able to stay in the air for longer is super handy. It's overall good to have multiple builds you can switch between depending on the boss or activity, and everything I'm discussing in this video will be handy for any playstyle. While I would first always have a support weapon in the offhand, actually having 2 damage options can be really strong as well, as you can't just rely on your potions for health, and you can easily get these. From the back menu, go to quick use, and then you will see a list. Now don't buy them, 1800 is a lot. It's way cheaper to craft them because the 2 resources you need cost 100 each. So get the full weekly stock of these resources at both vendors. And while you can only craft 5 in one go on the road, if you go to the crafting zone over here on the map and walk to this device, you can craft up to 100 in one go. So now you can always use potions to heal yourself without them running out. And of course, to upgrade these, you want to hunt medicinal pills you can get from many missions or completing outposts for the first time and a ton of other activities. So don't leave every time you have enough, return to this NPC to upgrade the potions. During the fight, you also see buffs trigger, and the big one here is the Morale Chant, Inner Way, and there are actually multiple inner ways that can significantly increase your damage output. Morale Chant is great for any build because you can increase your damage but also your healing, and you can actually easily upgrade it once. To get it, you need to go to this vendor and spend 5,000 Echo Jade. Believe it or not, this is actually the best use of this currency, as everyone, even on the Chinese server, is using this item still as well.
We're testing the heat retention of the Columbia Omni heat jacket by using Luke here as a human snowplow. Still warm, Luke? That's a yes. Columbia. Engineered for Columbia.
Sativa cleans like Clorox. Smells like grapefruit.
Because sometimes we feel bad, even when it's for their own good. Give more love than humanly possible when you feed a Hills scientifically proven formula. Because you're only human, there's Hills.
Welcome to Microsoft Ignite. If you study successful frontier firms, there are 3 common traits to their approach. First, they put AI in the flow of human ambition. Second, it's about ubiquitous innovation. There's a maker in every one of us. Third, the frontier firm needs to govern and manage the AI they deploy, and it requires observability in every layer of the stack. Beyond these 3 traits, there are 2 fundamental building blocks: intelligence and trust.
The future of work and the future of AI are inseparable.
Work IQ connects everything that matters inside your company. With Fabric IQ, you can adopt the language of your business.
Foundry IQ is the intelligent connection point across all of your structured and unstructured knowledge that your agents rely on and take action on. Anthropic models are now live on Foundry.
We're so excited to announce Agent 365 today, now available in Frontier.
No matter where your agents come from, no matter what they do or how they do it, Agent 365 has got you covered.
We are announcing Microsoft Agent Factory. It's one way to harness all of the power of Work IQ, Foundry IQ, and Fabric IQ through a single meter.
Everything you've seen so far in this keynote runs on Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure is a global platform, the world's AI supercomputer, and an integrated cloud foundation. It provides you AI-ready infrastructure that lowers your costs as you embark
About your IQ, your bold ambitions, the human ambition that lives inside of your company, all brought together so that your organization can achieve its highest aspirations and growth potential.
After getting the 10 books, you unlock the inner way, and then in Kai Feng, from the vendor you find over here on the map, you can use 2,000 Echo Jades to get 10 nodes. Or buy fewer of these nodes if you already have a few. You need 10, and then you can upgrade the inner way at least once. Now, upgrading inner ways takes a ton of time, because it's really hard to focus on particular nodes. It's a really random system. Simply getting the inner way is already enough to see noticeable increases. Especially the inner ways linked to your favorite weapons are key. By checking the improvement guide and the different playstyles, you can look for your favorite weapon and then the inner ways that are recommended for the playstyle. Some are rewards from missions you have to do, while others are a bit harder to get, like finding multiple chests in an area. But simply Googling the name of the inner way will give you a guide on how to get it. But I do want to highlight the Sword Horizon inner way specifically. If you do the inner track slash with the strategic sword and apply all 5 bleed stacks on an enemy, and then just mash the skill button during the attack, you'll do a follow-up attack that also triggers all 5 bleed stacks for a ton of extra damage. You can also do this in combination with the charged heavy attack, but then you need to press the heavy attack button after the move for the extra combo. It makes the strategic sword one of the best weapons in the game, period. So to get it, enter the Coven shop in Kai Feng over here on the map, and then once you reach the Ghostlight Market, go to this spot on the map. Once in front of this giant structure, go left inside the building, and then to this NPC, and then you want to buy the unknown old books. I bought them in tens, because it's random how much comprehension you get. In the end, I had to buy 25 for the full inner way. And if you need more coins, you can of course get more coins from the season shop if you need it. In the season shop, you find a lot of things that can improve your power, like nodes to upgrade your inner weights, materials needed to enhance your gear, and materials needed to break through with weapons. So make sure you buy all of this every week, apart from the string of coins. These items restock every Sunday, but in my experience, you have enough currency to simply buy it all, and then, get it again next Sunday. And when you reach Solo Mode 6, I think you can also start buying the Tier 51 gear chest, because this is actually the easiest way to target certain gear sets. Also in the improvement guide, you can see gear sets that work best with your playstyle. When you open these gear chests, you can select the gear set you want, and then only get items from that set. So you can very easily get the 4 pieces you need for the full set bonus. But there are also other things you want to pay attention to, as weapons are part of a particular arsenal, indicated by the icon and text under the name. Items can drop with an increase to that damage type, which means they are better than other similar items. So when you find a weapon in your preferred gear set, and then with a nice starting perk, then you can choose them. With this system, you can add brand new perks to the item, so if the item is already good with the base perk, you can make it even better, increasing their mastery significantly as well. You can use items with the same tier level for tuning, with some of them having the XP label, meaning they more easily unlock perks than a regular item. But at the bottom of the list, you will find items with a gold or purple icon if you have these, and using these means that you will always get a legendary or purple perk when you use these for tuning, while otherwise it's a random perk. So you want to save these for the items that have the amazing base perk already. You also have these tuning stones that you get by recycling gear from the same tier, and recycling one gear item gives you 2 stones, which is the same amount of XP. So you can just recycle gear, get the stones, and use that to upgrade items, apart from the ones with the XP label and of course the gold or purple icon. But before using the items to tune your gear, you want to put the best items you are not using in your arsenal. So fully upgrade that, as that also gives you a lot of extra damage. This also unlocks on the solo level 6. The enhance feature is of course also super important to increase your damage and defense. A pro tip for this, buy all the resources like the stones, rocks, fur from the 2 vendors that are mentioned. These are also part of a weekly stock. They don't cost a lot, so maxing out means that you don't have to grind for them in the open world, and they reset every Sunday. And something you also want to upgrade are your mythic skills, the touch of death in particular, as this helps in outposts, for example, to instantly take out enemies and quickly clear the camp, or when you encounter enemies in the open world. But as you level up, you will notice that you cannot insta-kill every enemy anymore. So making sure this is always at the